What's up, everyone? We are post-workout this Monday and just got done with some on-court work. I actually didn't do any lifting this morning. I wanted to adjust my program just the smallest amount. My biggest fear and concern is overemphasizing things that I like versus things that I need. There's a big difference. I like to feel ready physically and be able to be explosive and jump high. And I like lifting weights. I like certain aspects of training more than others. But the things I don't like are often the things I don't do as much. And because of that, my capacity and my physical ability of doing them is much worse than they should be compared to my other things I like. Makes total sense, right? So today, I went on the court and I'll put clips up later today or in this video, some shooting drills, and they're just so frustrating. It is so frustrating to take the approach that I'm taking. And I don't know if any sane basketball player would take this approach. We just go out there and shoot really difficult shots, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, at a decent intensity. It feels good to make shots, just like it feels good to do the things I like in training. But I don't think that's going to make me that much better. I did shoot off the move, off of sprints and side shuffles and stuff like that, and it's starting to feel so much better. You can miss shots and know when they're getting better, but it's so frustrating. It's hard to explain. So I did that, and after that, I did my dreaded conditioning. Yeah, I haven't done any conditioning yet. I like to tell myself I do conditioning. I like to run sprints and do all those things and say, oh, that's not conditioning. If I'm not playing the game, I need to mimic the game. And going to play open gym isn't really the game itself. So you're kind of in a pair of conundrum here where it's like, I need to get ready for a game that I currently cannot play because of whatever access to people. And so how do I work around that? And so here's what I'm doing. I'll share it with you all here. And the idea of it. So I call it run an action, guard an action. You don't need a basketball for this. If you had a skills trainer with you, you could, but you don't have to. Or any person, you don't need a skills trainer. Basically what I do is I start on offense or defense, I'm on offense, and I'll run through a set play or two on that offensive end continuously. So maybe, and in each play, I'm the main character because that's going to be the toughest thing to run. I might run a stagger screen into a curl, back into a back screen into a pop out. So that might be the action I run on offense. And then I might drift to the corner or whatever it might be for a couple seconds. And now in my head, again, this imagination helps. Then here's a missed shot. I run down to the other end, and then I might guard that same action that I just ran for myself. So now I'm on defense. And then I'll add some additional closeouts and weak side help and movement. So that's one up and back. Now my goal is to run these actions, so guard an action, run an action, guard an action, for basically at a sustained pace of 4 minutes. That's about going to be the most demanding thing you're going to encounter is some reason you've got into a running horse race with the other team. You guys are sprinting back and forth with minimal breaks, running a bunch of very demanding actions, which isn't very common in basketball. There's a lot more downtime than that. But if you can do the hardest thing, you can do the easiest thing. And so I did a couple passes of it, and the first bout was pretty tough. Gosh, not just my heart and my legs, but it's at the end of the workout, so that's part of it as well. And I ended up getting 4 total passes, maybe 3 ups and backs. It was basically a minute 10. And it was a pretty good effort. I'm not maximal intensity yet. But the difference between this and just running around a track for 90 seconds is the fact that A, you don't have momentum the whole time in basketball. B, the stop and go deceleration of muscles. You feel what's really working. And C, you actually gotta understand what you're weak at. Like, oh my gosh, my deceleration, I stink at that, or I really have trouble get going. Versus if you just run in a circle, yeah, you'll have the cardiovascular benefits, but you won't have the specific tissue conditioning benefits. Do I look ridiculous running around guarding nobody? Man, this whole thing is ridiculous. Who cares? Like, whatever. I was thinking a lot about that and how it's unfortunate how silly I think this is at times, and how it's so easy to try and just call this an experiment because it kind of gives me a way out. And when you have a way out, you don't do the hard things. You just kind of do the easy things. And I think about that a lot during this. And I really try to put myself all in. It's very hard to do, admittedly so. Just due to the simple fact I have other things in my life. And I'm rekindling a flame that existed in a different version of myself. I was 19 years old, 18, 20, whatever, 12. Didn't have a wife and kid. But the other side of it is a fear. Like, you have this fear that life will pass you by. You won't try something. You don't do something. You don't take any risk. And one day you are no longer here. And you're kind of like, man, I want to get one go at this thing. Wouldn't it be cool to try? And so that's all you can really do in this case, is really try. And try in the sense that it's not just about putting stuff on social media, but actually try. And part of the difficulty of trying for me is to balance the, not social embarrassment, but the general feelings of I have other things going on. And so part of my mental battle is trying with full commitment in a way that isn't just for the sake of a couple of clips here and there, but things that are so boring that they don't even make it on video. And that's when you know you're pursuing something. It's when you do the things that you do because you need to do it, because you're holding yourself to a standard to do it, not because you want other people to see that you do it. Could I post cooler workouts and other things that are more exciting and play one-on-one with people and do stuff? Sure. Do I really think that's going to give me a chance to make it? I don't. I really don't. I don't think that's my best chance. So if I'm going to do this, I'm putting my chips on the table here. I might as well do the stuff that's boring. And I'll share the boring stuff on here. I'll put it just raw, unedited. You can hear me cussing up the camera and missed jump shots. But that's where I stand with this at the moment. I hope that makes sense where this rambling train of thought went. But I'll keep this video series going. And I appreciate you guys and the support so far. I even mentioned that, by the way, I'm trying to do some two-a-days now. But maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow in another video, how I'm going to try and organize some of that. So I appreciate you all. As always, take care. I hope you enjoy. And thanks for the support, guys.